Well, I'm here with Stuart Mackley. I'm at Fulham Football Club's training centre. Stuart, thanks for having us here.
You're welcome.
My first visit here, and I'm absolutely stunned by the place, actually. It's tucked away here, and it's a peaceful, lovely spot.
Yeah, it's a lovely site, kind of southwest London, yeah, nice.
And you've been here, what, near 3-4 years now?
It's coming to the end of my third season here at Fulham.
Okay.
Yep, first season in charge, yeah, taking over from Declan, who went over to AS Monaco.
Okay, so you were a little team there, weren't you? I mean, so you're kind of on your own now in terms of running this site.
Yep.
You don't look after Craven Cottage. That's looked after by Gareth.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Gareth has just taken over from Anthony Quinn at Craven Cottage. When Declan went to AS Monaco, the club split the sites in two. I took Motspur, and Anthony took Craven Cottage, and Anthony's now left the club, and Gareth's now taken his position.
So your route into turf care, yeah. You've had a few stops along the way, but it started up in Sheffield. You're a Sheffield lad, yeah?
Yeah, Sheffield, born and bred. Started at Sheffield Wednesday through work experience, actually.
But you didn't want to go in there as a grades person,
I
did you?
wanted to be a physiotherapist. I like to see the physios running on when there's an injury, and thought I'd like to do something like that, and especially involved with my club that I support. Unfortunately, there was no opening for a physio work experience, so I got offered 2 weeks with the ground staff, and 18 years later, here I am, head of grounds at a different football club.
You know, you started that works experience. Was it an instant kind of thing with you? It was, I like this.
Yeah, I really loved it. I loved helping the team out, helped cut Hillsborough, walking on the pitch at Hillsborough, my home club. And yeah, just pushed to become an apprentice after I left school. So already had a job lined up when I was 15, pretty much.
What was it that switched you on? Was it the fact, here I am, I'm at the club I love and I support, or was it the actual work?
I think it was that initially, and then I obviously really enjoyed seeing how the guys prepared the pitch for games at the weekends, and yeah, it just switched and just really wanted to do that and pursue it for my career. So
how long did you spend at Sheffield Wednesday then?
I was there for 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a stint there. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of resources when I was there, but then I saw a job opening at Arsenal, and I couldn't turn that down when I was going to go and work with Steve Braddock, one of the best in our industry. Yeah. So took that with both hands and left Sheffield and moved straight to London.
So you moved away from home. Were you still living at home when you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay, so back in the big smoke.
Yeah, big lights, bright lights in London. Just threw myself into working at Arsenal and absorbing everything like a sponge, really, as much as I could. I know I wasn't there very long, but I think the lads at Arsenal taught me pretty much everything I know now and give me a good grounding to send me on my career in a good way. Well,
we've been wandering around, and you know, you can see the stamp of what you've had as an experience in terms of working with Brads, and that kind of, as you called it, the Arsenal way, if you like.
Yeah.
You got a super tidy workshop.
I'm still scared of Steve coming to put his finger underneath the rotary mower to see if it's clean enough. So
it's that attention to detail.
It is attention to detail. It's good housekeeping. Everyone should always keep the mowers as tidy as possible and the garages as clean as possible. Just sets the standard for the rest of the site and sets the standard for the team.
So you Arsenal for a couple of years, and then it was off to not such quite bright lights at Reading, but it was a step up career-wise.
Yeah, I saw a first assistant role available at Reading, and wasn't sure if I'd progress as fast as I would have liked at Arsenal. So took the first assistant role, went to Hogwood Training Centre before they built Bearwood, and then stayed there for a few years and got promoted and became deputy head at Medeski.
Okay, so Medeski, that would have been a few years old by then. Did you get into any kind of new pitch constructions or anything there?
Well, at the time we had London Irish, and the Desso was on its last legs really at the end of its life. So it was reconstructed while I was there in 2016 on the top of my head. Okay. Much needed, new playing surface.
And was that a new experience for you going through a construction, or had you done any of those?
Apart from seeing renovations at Arsenal, and that was like my first involvement with big renovations and reconstructions. Working under Adam Grantham, who's now over at Norwich, doing a fantastic job over there. So it's really good experience at Reading.
So managing a surface for both rugby and football, that's got some challenges, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was really difficult. I did learn a hell of a lot during that time. things we did wrong, things we did right, and hopefully take on board that and use that further down the line in my career. But yeah, it's tough times. Anything with dual use is really hard work.
Okay, so spent your time at Reading, and then next stop was Fulham, yeah?
Yeah, Declan had got the role at Motspur Park. I came and did a trial with him, looking to become his deputy, and worked well together straight away, because obviously I'd known Declan from Arsenal, and just fitted right in with a deputy role here at Fulham, and moved on from there. It helped put the Arsenal stamp essentially on Fulham and help improve the pitches, the standards here. And all I've been doing since then, since Declan's left, is continuing this good work we started.
So it's progressing. I mean, you know, I see you wandering around here, and you're picking up bits of litter, and you're kind of obsessing about how things are looking. Yeah, you're even kind of weeding under here before we sit down. What else do you want? Well, what have you done with this? I mean, you say you've kind of just built on what's there. Have you made anything new or different in the last?
Well, we changed the match pitch into a hybrid construction.
That's this pitch here.
That's this pitch here. Yeah, that was 5% before. Made improvements to the first team areas, making little adjustments to how they were set out. But I think the next project and the last piece of the jigsaw is to reconstruct the academy pitches on site. They need to be brought up to a Premier League level, which we're a little bit behind where we should be at the moment.
So at the moment, we're coming into renovation season. I guess, have you got all your renovations planned, and do you know what you're doing?
Yep, all planned, all priced, all the boxes ticked for where people are going to train or where they're not going to train, and all the eventualities covered already. So we're going to look to just renovate this match pitch as normal. This game renovated a little later than usual because we have to keep it in play for the 21's final part of their season.
Right.
First team pitches will come out as usual straight after the last game, which is against Luton. And then, hopefully it'll be starting the academy reconstruction, if approved, in the next few weeks. And if it's not approved, we'll be doing normal renovations.
That amazes me that you're 3 or 4 weeks away from doing a total reconstruction, and you don't know if you've got the budget yet.
That's the world of football, and we've kind of left in the lurch a little bit with this pitch, and we got told last minute that we could have it, but hopefully we'll get it over the line.
Okay, but you've got a plan A and a plan B.
We certainly have, yeah.
Okay, so you're prepared for all eventualities, as it were. Okay, so once you get past your renos, and we're looking at bigger projects, because it's, again, what's quite clear to me is you like projects, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing more I'd like than coming into a place and putting your own stamp on it. I think I find it quite monotonous just going into a place and just maintaining the level it's already at.
Is that why you weren't interested in maybe taking on the stadium?
I've done my time at stadiums, to be honest, and at the time it wasn't the right decision for me to go and work at Craven Cottage or push to be the head at Craven Cottage. I'm quite happy learning at the training ground, learning my craft, and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and just continuing to learn how to manage teams, and the craziness of training grounds, really, day to day. It's there's
a lot more moving parts, isn't there?
Yeah, there certainly is. There's spinning plates. I think wrote an article about this place. It certainly is spinning plates.
So what's the big projects that you've got in mind?
There's still quite a few things to finish here at Motspur. Certain areas what we can make better, a bit more aesthetically pleasing, but
so more the surroundings rather than the surfaces.
Yeah. Obviously the academy pitches, they need to be brought up to spec, but going forward in the next few years we're going to be looking to build on our satellite training centre.
Okay.
That's going to be happening relatively soon. So
that's just across the road, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we already have the site there, so that's going to be something.
Is
really.
It just a brownfield site at the moment, or is it?
It was actually the BBC Sports Grounds.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
It's quite renowned in the area for being high quality, but it's just left as is at the moment until we start constructing pitches and facilities over there.
So you got a blank canvas there, then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so you're spending a bit of time on working plans on that, or are they kind of...
Plans are already in for planning permission reasons, but obviously when we get further down the line to start constructing it, then we can start putting input of what kind of pitches we do want out there, what layouts we need, what's required.
Okay, so on site here you've got, what is your makeup of pitches,
So
etc.?
we've got 3 hybrid pitches, 2 which are CIS, this one's grass max, and just normal natural pitches for the academy, 2 academy pitches, with 2 3G pitches here as well.
Okay, they're in the dome, aren't they?
One in the dome, one's just outside.
So, okay. So you've got quite a bit on your plate here to look after as it is.
What's one thing is it's quite astonishing that compare it to like somewhere like Leicester or your Arsenals or your Tottenhams, how far behind Fulham are of the elite clubs really, or elite training grounds. I think hence why we're building across the road.
Yeah,
we need more space to keep the standard of the pitches as high as they can.
So you're talking about in terms of the amount of surface you've got to enable you to move things around and manage the surfaces and keep them up to spec. And what about the facilities around you as well?
The facilities, we're quite limited here on site. We've got buildings what have got historical significance. All our trees are TPO'd. So things are quite plunked around here at Fulham. But yeah, we're getting there. We're moving forward, definitely.
Just as an aside, historical significance you mentioned.
Yeah.
One thing you told me when we turned up, this was part of Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, correct.
They used it as a running track. Was it for actual, where they trained, or was it?
Yeah, I think it was filmed over here in the stand over there. I think there's a plaque over there somewhere.
Oh, is it? All right, okay.
This used to have a running track around this pitch, and when we were reconstructing it, we were finding old bits of the running track in there.
Yeah. Okay. Look back, you came in, you started on a works experience, decided, well, this is something I want to carry on doing, yeah? That developed into a career that, you've now got to where you are, and who knows where you're going to go next. What's it like attracting staff for you here, even as a Premier League club?
I think in the London area especially, we find it really hard to attract new members of staff. There's quite a lot of other football clubs around the area, prestigious gardens in the area. Wimbledon tennis, for example, is just around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're competing against all manner of businesses to attract the staff. One thing what Declan started, and I'm going to continue, is to try and benchmark our salaries, keep our salaries going upwards so it's competitive with other teams in the local area, and keep the youngsters coming in. Obviously we've got a couple of apprentices here already, and they're on their qualifications, and give them a push on into the career. So we're just about to take an apprentice on at Craven Cottage. So one thing we're very keen to do, Gareth and myself, are to encourage youngsters to come through. But going back to the original question, it is very, very difficult to attract staff, and the recruitment process takes a long time.
And it's expensive.
It is expensive.
Not just in terms of the advertising, etc. It's when you then factor in the amount of time you take out of your role, or the extra hours you do to do it, which is more likely.
This is why if we can benchmark the salaries and retain staff, we don't have to spend money on recruitment and time, which is the most important thing what we lose when the team leaves.
Paul Burgess, not too long ago came back, last year. It's been quite well noted the amount of money that he's managed to kind of put behind recruiting and building the team that he is building there at Chelsea. He's up the ante, I guess. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
That's got to be a positive, hasn't it, really? I think what Paul's done to help drive base salaries in the industry is brilliant, and it's really making our industry become a profession as well now. People want to come into it, can earn good money, get good qualifications, and turn into really good groundspeople.
So we were talking off camera earlier, and to summarise what you said, probably the bit that is more of a challenge now for you, other than the surface, is actually getting your head around the management side of things and all of that that entails. Filling out forms correctly, doing the budgets, dealing with people, both team members.
And managing upwards as well.
Managing upwards. Do you think there should be more training before groundsmen and grounds team members make a step up into management?
I think that sits with the head. Really should coach their deputy or their assistants how to progress when they're going to move up into the industry, move on.
We don't see much, in terms of formal training out there for that.
There's some bits you can't, some bits there aren't any formal training for. You either have the skill or you don't sometimes, I think.
So when you go and talk to your line management, and a request goes into the board because you need a new whatever, or you want extra money for this, etc. How are you justifying that? Are you just saying I need it, or do you have to put a business case together?
I've been working extensively on my business case for 3 or 4 months prior to meeting you today for the reconstruction of the academy pitches. So I've done a lot of research and stats behind what I'm asking for and reasonings and why it's worth doing it for the business. So
you're not just going in and saying, I need a new mower because it's getting a bit old.
No, they don't just hand it off you go. No, they don't do that. So.
And nobody taught you to do that?
No, I took that. I was off my own bat. I'm aware that I had to do a business case for an item like that. But even for asking for certain mowers in the summer, I've still got business cases and justifications of why I do need them and what they will bring to our department.
So you're having to learn another language, essentially, yeah?
Essentially, yeah.
I mean, one very notable head who's in a quite senior role, when he first took a step up, he went to his kind of first executive meeting or whatever it was, and this term ROI was being trotted out,
Yep.
And as far as he knew, that could be the Republic of Ireland. So, but it was just kind of, he phoned him back, said, what's ROI? Oh, okay, return on investment. Great, okay, got it now, But, it's about talking a language that the people above you understand, or because they're doing it day in, day out.
Exactly.
If they came down here and you started talking your language around turf care to them, they'd be equally lost, but you've got to put it in terms they understand, and that's normally in terms of what's that going to mean to the business in terms of, a payback. It's either going to improve something, it's going to cost us less, or it's going to make us something.
100%. That's how it is.
And that I think is the biggest challenge for people to take.
I'm not saying I'm an expert at anything in my field, but it's something what I'm always learning, how to deal with management, line managers, coaches, even down to my team who work for me. It's learning how to talk to people better or get the best out of them. So it's all a big learning curve, and we're on that journey, so I'm relishing it.
You seem to have quite a good relationship with the coaching staff here from some of the stuff we've been chatting about, and I think not necessarily direct line to Marco Silva, who's the manager, but I think there's other guys that are around that you're dealing with that are quite helpful to you. Yeah,
the first team coaching staff are brilliant, to be honest. It's probably the best set I've worked with in all my years I've worked in professional football. It's just building that rapport when you first meet them. They pretty much joined at the same time as I did. Once you strike that relationship, you can approach them and what you need off them, and vice versa if they need anything off the grounds team. It's just an open conversation. It's good to have that communication.
Well, you're lucky that they've stayed in place for quite a long time now in football, and let's hope that continues for you. If you look forward to the next chapter in your career, Stuart, what do you see as the big things that you want to tick off in your career?
I think the first thing is just to make sure I deliver on renovations this year, so the first team come back and all the other teams come back to good surfaces. That's going to be the big...
Is this your first one flying solo? Or?
First one flying solo, okay. Under my name, so just deliver that. That's the first goal.
Feeling confident?
Yeah, I've got a good team behind me. The lads who work for me are brilliant. Rob, Russ, the seniors and deputies, fantastic, and all the other team, brilliant lads. They've all supported me since I've taken the role. So with their help, we'll deliver as we did last year.
Okay. And other ambitions?
I think what excites me is obviously the new training centre across the road. That'd be brilliant.
Another project.
Yeah. I think that's got a little bit of my eye on that one. But let's just deliver this. I think this year. That's some baby steps.
One match at a time, eh?
One match at a time. Yeah. You're as good as your last match.
So you mentioned the team there.
Yeah.
I mean, we should talk about them because I think how many have you got on your team?
There's 10, including myself.
Okay, looking after how many pitches?
We've got 5 grass pitches here and 2 artificials.
Okay, so you seem to have a ratio of 2 people per pitch across both the stadium and here. You've got some newbies coming through.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the experience level of the other guys that you've got?
I think generally Rob, who came from Morecambe, he's been in the industry a while, and Russell, who came from Tottenham, very experienced guys, rely on them heavily to run day to day and teach the other members of staff the standards, what are expected. But all the other lads who are all on their level 2 courses, they've just finished their the spraying certificate today. They're all keen to learn, and that's kind of the drive behind the team. Everyone wants to improve. Everyone's getting a little bit down if they haven't put a bang straight line out or something, or because everyone's trying to be like a perfectionist. It's really good to see. And
that kind of School of Braddock mentality seems to be sticking with you. Maybe not quite such a hard taskmaster.
Yeah, I can't be like Braddock. He's a one of a kind. Yeah, I'm having a go at you for putting the lights on at 7 p.m. on the tractor because he thinks you want to go home. So I don't think I'm that bad yet.
You probably did.
Yeah, I was flashing the lights. Like, come on, it's time to go, surely. Just one more run of the Coro or something. They were good times at Arsenal. But yeah, just a big learning curve this year, I think, for me. Okay. And then we can start maybe trialling new things next year. Just find my feet, I think, this first year.
And then put your stamp on it in coming years, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Stuart, been great sitting with you and talking.
Pleasure having you.
And thanks for taking so much time out of your day. I know it's a real inconvenience for you, particularly with the end of the season close and you wanting to get ready for renovations.
You're welcome.
Congratulations on what you've achieved so far, and we look forward to seeing how it goes over the coming
months
and years.
Thank you.